have this premium offering. That offering is way better because we can tap the brains of the world. It's like if you were building a publisher day, if you could tap all the world's brains for potential things to publish, that'd be very powerful. So we like to maintain that. And I forgot the second part of the question, but
topics.
Oh, biggest topics. It's super broad, as you can imagine. We have very, very active communities on many technical topics, from programming and cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence. But we also have very big, very popular topics from feminism and equality and really societal issues. The future is a big topic that we write about. Health is becoming a bigger topic. The only major topic that lots of people are into that we have a disproportionately small amount of in terms of both content and audience is probably sports.
I have Nick from Visual Capitalist. So I appreciate Medium's focus on quality. I think that's been a big part of the success. And the platform is great. But like any platform, there are things that people try to game over time, right? So I'm wondering if you have a strategy to prevent some Medium from becoming something like an SEO keyword farm or something like that.
Yeah, people definitely try to game Medium, as they do all open platforms that have any scale. And we've come up with a bunch of strategies over time to combat that. And the biggest thing we added within the last year is a curation layer. So we found it's really important we still use human judgment for, not to determine whether you can publish on Medium, anyone can publish, but in terms of what we recommend to readers and what we actually, because we see our job, just to frame it, as really serving the reader, and the writers or the creators are our customer as well, but we really think of them as our partner in serving the reader. And so we do a bunch of things with machines to filter out content that we can identify as spammy or bad. But for the more sophisticated stuff, we have humans that will either, they don't eliminate many things. Occasionally they do if they break rules, but it's really about finding the diamonds in the rough and making sure those are the things getting attention, rather than the things that are just able to either game algorithms or game our minds with clickbait. So we apply a lot of human judgment. Hi, Jenny.
Hey, how you doing? I just want to challenge you on something you said about 2 questions ago. Why is the Medium platform unique? Because it does look to me like it's a very good publishing platform. I like it. But it's a publishing platform, and there are many hundreds of those on the internet, aren't there? So what technologically is actually unique about it?
I can't think of a publishing platform where you can. So the paradigm before Medium to publish on the internet was to create a site or a blog. I mean, rather than a story. So I think that's what I was saying. There's publishing platforms, but the number of people who want to be bloggers, as opposed to those who occasionally have a story to tell, that's the difference. So if you simply have a story that you want to write, the kind of which we see thousands of every day, and you don't want to create a site or a blog, there's actually, you can probably post it on Facebook. You can create, a Google Doc, and yes, there are probably other things, but I can't think of another thing that actually has that property. You might think of it kind of like the YouTube for articles is sort of how we were thinking about it at first, where a YouTube, you can create a channel and you can post daily and you can become a star and you can monetize. Or if you have a video to share, it also serves utility if that's where you put your video. There was actually nothing like that for articles that was really designed for that use case. And I'm sure there are today many other things. There probably were others, but what's also important is that then it actually has distribution built in as well. That's the hard to replicate part today. And before we had the network, that was not as big a deal, but now there's really a network. So the very unique thing is to be able to publish into a system that has a network and distribution, and if it's good, find audience. Actually, that exists in social media, but not for this type of content.
So we have time for 2 more questions.
Hi, my name is Albert. I
Hi.
write about the insurance industry and I publish all of my stuff on Medium, so
Thank you.
thanks for doing what you do. Question number one, why do you think it is that the comment sections on Medium are not infested with the same kind of viciousness as any other platform? What is unique about Medium in that regard? And the second one, are there any features for writers or publishers for 2019 that you could share with us? Anything new coming up?
Sure. So on the comments, the way we've designed comments, and we haven't put them front and center. First of all, so we've done two things purposely, and to avoid them being a rat's nest or whatever you called it. I mean, and to be clear, we do get bad comments occasionally. One is how we recommend them. So they're by default buried beneath the click, so you don't get that much attention unless the author of the post recommends the comment or you follow the person commenting. And so that's really a filtering mechanism. So it's basically a whitelist for or on the account level or on the comment level, they're essentially moderated by default. That's another way to think of it. The other thing is what we aim to do, we call them responses instead of comments. So they're a bit cumbersome for the casual comment or the quick diss or like or thanks post. They're actually full-fledged posts, and that just designing it that way, it allows people to actually create really significant comments that can be full stories into themselves, which we see occasionally, but it also kind of discourages the dumb comment just by design.
And any new features?
Oh, any new features? There will be new features, nothing to announce. The one thing to note that's not as well known, we revamped the stats for the first time in a few years, and we just launched that like a month or two ago. So that's the biggest thing recently. And then there'll be stuff definitely coming around the partner program, and more to come.
Thanks.
What do you think will be the future of journalists? We are looking at a lot of new trends. Today was launched the first virtual newsman in China, and I don't know, mobile journalists. The microblogging is bigger. It's not 140 characters. It's 280. What do you think will be the future of journalism?
Sorry, the future of what?
Of journalism.
Future of journalism. I think there's a bright future for journalism. I think we are coming out of this phase where it is assumed that the best quality journalism is free for everyone in unlimited quantities, and that's not true for any other category of product. And so I think the trend toward subscriptions and paywalls is a good thing because it's reorienting the market, and it's a superior business model. It won't be easy for everyone. It's not like throwing up a paywall as a solution for every publisher. But I think as a trend, the fact that people are willing to pay, people recognize the value of journalism as a whole a great deal more today than I think they did 5 years ago or even 2 years ago, and they're getting more used to paying. That's going to be, I think, it fixes the feedback loop that was driving the quality of journalism or the ability to do really good stuff, especially in digital. It was driving it down. I think it's going to reverse, and those who do good stuff, I think, are going to be rewarded.
I'm myself from the Bridge Startup Focus News publication in Tokyo. So I know you guys have a bunch of the user base in Western countries. Basically, many of them are using Western languages like English or those kind of things. But when you look at what kind of the publication platform the people in the rest of the world, somewhere like Japanese or Chinese or those kind of people usually choose the another local article publication platform actually because of some reason like user interface or those kind of things actually. So do you have any plan to My question is, do you have any plan to localize your platform to optimize for, to get more optimization for, how to say, other languages like Chinese or those kind of thing, to gain more user base from the rest of the world? What do you think?
The answer is yes, absolutely. Absolutely. About 25% of our readership is from the U.S. and the rest is spread around the world. Some from China, not a lot. I think we are blocked. But we actually haven't done any efforts. We haven't invested yet in localization anywhere. So the Medium user interface is entirely in English, no matter where you're coming from, no matter what your browser says. So that's an obvious thing we need to fix, and that's on our priority list. Can't say when exactly that will happen. And you know, for Japan, I'm very familiar with that because of Twitter. Twitter does very well in Japan. We worked with their early. Japan was actually the first place we localized for Twitter for, and so we have some usage there, not a lot, but we'll be planning an internationalization strategy shortly.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. You talked a little bit ago about the future of journalism. How a platform such as Medium can help to this industry to moving forward in the future?
Well, what we're trying to do is create one option for journalists to get paid. We pay thousands of writers on a monthly basis. Not some of them you would call journalists, some of them you wouldn't. We pay them both when they participate in our partner program independently, and we also pay them directly through our editorial team. The third thing we do is we license content from major publishers who are, employed journalists. So those are the things we're doing now. We are ramping the budgets for all of those avenues every month. We, for the most part, don't focus on news, but we do a lot of long form journalism, especially on our commission side. We're publishing hundreds of stories a month, sometimes with large budgets, and paying good money for professional work, and it's working really well. And it's what's driving subscriptions. People appreciate it. It's differentiated, and yeah.
Also, time for one more.
Hi, Alex from Canada. So you've been talking about subscription and everything related to that and how you learned. I think what's most interesting about subscriptions is the bundle that you have, what people pay for. So with your now a year and a half of experimentation, what have you learned about kind of that bundle? You had publications, now you have curation. What do you learn about what people are willing to pay for?
The interesting thing we've learned is it's really about having a critical mass of relevant quality stuff for each user. So there's nothing, we haven't found, for instance, that people pay for technical content but not health content, or they pay for one topic versus the other, or they pay for even the licensed stuff versus the user generated. What we found is if there's it's really about finding enough relevant stuff for each user, and most people are interested in many things. And I think about our readers as sort of having profiles, interest profiles that are T-shaped, meaning they go deep in one or two topics, and it could be a work topic or a hobby or a passion. But those same people are interested in the occasional, political commentary or health or a lot of things that are more universal. And so the bundle, we do think about it as a bundle of thousands of stories and thousands of writers, and our job is to find the stuff within that bundle that's most valuable to you. And if we can deliver that to you, that's actually our biggest challenge, is figuring out the relevancy for each user. It's not quality, but it's because we have so much stuff that you could be interested in. It's about what's the bundle for you, what you're actually paying for is different than the bundle for the next person over. But if we can find that stuff for you, that's what drives people to pay. It's really about we showed them another thing and they ran through their free articles, and it doesn't matter as much which one they finally hit the paywall for. It really matters about how many.
That's that's all we have time for. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Ed.